Hey there, I'm meteorologist Jamie Singleton. Listen, we've got a lot of rain already developing. We've seen a lot over the past couple of days and a lot more to come. And a lot of it's developing sooner than I thought, although I've been watching this very carefully and it's looking like a serious situation is already starting in North Carolina. There have been about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 water rescues already in North Carolina this evening from this rain that you see down here across Hickory, the Greensboro, south of Thomasville and Asheboro. This is going to be working its way north throughout the night tonight. There are more showers and storms south of Charlotte and Rock Hill. And this will be moving north again across a good part of the area so that by the morning hours tomorrow, it's going to be raining heavily. And one of the reasons is we are seeing a low pressure system off to our west. But the other reason is we have a front that's up here. It has stalled out. It's been kind of collecting all this soupy air. And if you know about the rain that we had the past couple of days, depending on where you live, you know it's been very, very heavy, very hard, and all of this has got that moisture to work with. So it's going to be a situation where we get a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and not just for 1 or 2 spots. We're going to start to see this area wide, I think, as we go through the day tomorrow. And again, for some of us by 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it could be flooding out there, but the threat's going to continue all the way into Saturday evening, into Saturday night. Now, over the past 3 days, this is how much rain has fallen. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but this is a conglomeration of different networks, backyard rain gauges, National Weather Service rain gauges, rainfall estimates, just to show you the sporadic nature of the rain. thus far. But now where you get under those downpours, where you've been under those downpours, look at that, 6.46 inches north of Copper Hill in Franklin County. But then other parts of Floyd County, only 3/4 of an inch of rain. 0.7 in Franklin County near Rocky Mount. But in northwest North Carolina here, this is a 3-day total so far, over 6 inches of rain. So again, it depends, and you can pick out your favorite area. You can see some areas of Campbell County over 3.8 inches of rain. Other areas of Campbell County near Lynchburg, 1.21. This is not a forecast. This is how much water is in the ground. And again, we've got more of that to come. Now, since we're live, I'm going to show you around Wentworth now into Rockingham County, North Carolina, in the Caswell County, North Carolina. We've got some heavier storms here. Now, keep in mind, these are slow-moving storms. They're not going to be moving at a great rate of speed like we typically see with severe storms. These are our gully-washing storms that are raining on the order of 1 to 4 inches per hour in some of these heavier downpours. That's why we had the water rescues earlier in and around Winston-Salem. I'll read you that storm report there. In Forsyth County, water rescue at Old Town Drive and Bethabara Road closed to high water. I probably didn't do a good job. That was at 7:06 with that report. Also around the Raleigh-Durham area, we had somebody trapped in Wake County from floodwaters. Vehicles stuck in floodwater, North Market and Craftsman Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina. Also Atlantic Avenue, New Hope Church closed due to flooding. So already a lot of flooding in and around the Raleigh-Durham area and into western North Carolina. There's now a special weather statement out for Hickory for 2-inch per hour rainfall amounts with this storm. And this area of rain has grown over the past few minutes. So what can you expect for tomorrow? Well, it's going to rain all day. There will be rounds of rain, and some of that rain, again, is going to be on the heavy side. Not really severe, but we're going to see flooding. So we're not really concerned. I'm not as concerned about severe weather. That is a potential, but really the flooding is the big issue. And you can see one wave here. There's a second wave developing here. I just want to show you the broad area of troughiness here. This is a dip in the jet stream that is helping to wring out moisture out in advance of it. But we've also got a couple of things going on. You've got the tropics that are actually indirectly kind of affecting what's going on. This is newly formed Tropical Storm Kyle out here in the Atlantic. Won't be a big problem for us. But what it's doing is the counterclockwise circulation around it is helping to pull this front here across northern Virginia down. And so tomorrow is actually going to be a cool day. Temperatures may not get to 70 or 72 all day tomorrow in some locations. It's going to be raining all day, and that circulation around the tropical system combined with high pressure to the north is going to pull that front down. That front is going to act as a basically a stepping stone to get that rain upwards a notch. In other words, you introduce the front to the already moisture, latent air that we've got across the area, and you induce lift. So we're going to have more lift coming just from the front itself. And I think that's primarily a late tonight, you're seeing it now, but a late tonight into early tomorrow morning kind of event. Then we may see a lull later tomorrow, and then the main low off to the west is going to get us for tomorrow night, and the amounts are going to be staggering in terms of rainfall, I'm afraid. We've also got another tropical system out here, but we won't worry about it. That's Josephine, going to curve out to sea. One of the reasons it's curving is because of the low pressure system that we've got in broad levels in the upper levels of our atmosphere. So I want to show you here what's going on at the surface. And again, as we speak, a front is working in from the north. We were on the warm side of that for the past week or so, past work week anyway. That's why we've so warm, so muggy, and we've been seeing storms even in the middle of the morning, middle of the night, early morning thunderstorms. Again, that's continuing again now because we are still in that same air mass. What's going to happen by tomorrow morning, though, is the front is going to work itself down from D.C. down to around Southside. And again, along it, we'll have those heavy storms. We'll also see rain overrunning that front throughout the day tomorrow. But the low pressure system that's off to the west, that's going to interact with that front, is still way off to the west and will only slowly be moving east. so that by tomorrow evening, it's still down here across the Carolinas. And our second cold front, which is on its way for Sunday, is still across the Great Lakes. So we've got a ways to go. This is not just a 6-hour window. This is not just a 12-hour window. This is a 24, 36-hour window of rain. A lot of it is going to be on the heavier side. Wanted to show you, let's see, let me get here. Got a lot of them on screen. We've got flood advisories now up for, let's see, Rockingham and Caswell counties until 1:45. 1 to 1.5 inches of rain's already fallen across the southern half of Rockingham and Caswell counties. So Eden, Reidsville, Wentworth, Yanceyville, areas like Camp Springs, an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain. So that's right there. It's 3.5 inches of rain just through morning expected out of those storms. Wilkes County also under a flood advisory now. This is newly issued as of 10:41 as the countdown was showing on your screen. Southern Allegheny County, North Carolina, southwestern Surry County, southeastern Watauga County, Wilkes County, and southwestern Yadkin County until 2:45. What's the biggest danger out there? A lot of times, flash flooding. What's the second biggest danger? Flash flooding at night when you can't see the water over the road and it looks just wet, or the bridge may look like it's still there underneath the flood waters and it's not. That's a big thing. So roads could become impassable in this area. That's in Wilkes County, North Carolina. Let me get that on your screen so you can see it there in the northwest North Carolina. And folks, this is going to continue moving north and east throughout the morning hours, early morning hours. Here's what I wanted to show you. This is the short-range HRRR model, and it's a little bit hard to show you here, but this is for Roanoke, and this is for the exact location of Roanoke. This is the HRRR. It runs every hour. It takes into account radar and what's going on now. But what it shows you in the center of the screen, right through here, is forecast rain and radar intensity. And then below that, you've got forecast precip. So this is a time step. This is midnight, it's the 0 right there. Then you go into 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. You can see that we've got radar echoes forecasted in a 20 dBz. That's your light rain on radar. But then you get up to around, let's see, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's raining pretty hard out there according to the HRRR. And it's been pretty consistent here on showing about 1 inch of rain by morning in Roanoke. Could some locations see more than that? Yes, definitely, especially closer to North Carolina. Some locations won't see as much, but you get the idea. By morning, from now for the next 6 hours, the rain's going to be on the increase. And it just won't be tomorrow. It'll continue raining after that. You can see a little bit of a lull, but still rain, light to moderate rain there in the yellow and darker greens. That's what the radar would be like. Adding up to 2.6 to 2.8 inches in Roanoke by mid-morning tomorrow, by the afternoon actually. That's early afternoon. There will be a major round of rain coming in after this model stops here. So after without this model going into further hours, you can see there's a lot more rain on the way to come from that model. So this is the big dip I'm talking about in the jet stream. This is it right here. There's a second low off to the west. That's Sunday's system, but that's going to be more scattered in nature. This is the troublemaker right here because it's got all the Gulf of Mexico moisture with it, and it's that blue area that you see there that's digging in from the west. So here's the big area of moisture in the darker green. This is the deep moisture that allows for the heavier rainfall to fall where we've had it. And so you can see that we go into the morning hours and much of the area is in that. As you go into Saturday early afternoon, again, that continues to pivot on through the area, and then maybe some drier weather in between systems for Sunday, but it's going to be a long 24 to 36 hours, I'm afraid. One of the things I didn't want to bury down at the end of this broadcast was the Euro model. The Euro model not only shows us the front that's moving through now and the storms that are moving in now with this, what we just looked at here. This is the front, but also the low that's going to be coming in for tomorrow night. We need to talk about tomorrow night because through tomorrow, the Euro model works on different equations, but through tomorrow, most areas have about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of rain. Okay, locally higher amounts. Look what happens here. This I kind of threw out a few days ago because it looks so random, but it keeps popping up model run after model run after model run. And it depends on the model as to where this bullseye shows up. But I can't ignore this because this is a 10-inch model forecast for northern Franklin County, southern Roanoke County. Let's not concentrate exactly where that is, but this was this afternoon's model run. And around that, you've got 3 to 4 inch rainfall around that. And this is only through Sunday morning. Most of this falls tomorrow evening. So I'm like, what could be causing that? And then you go back a model run. So let's go to this morning's model run. On this particular website, I get these model runs every 12 hours. There's another bullseye. It's not over Roanoke, but it's the same magnitude here, 10 to 11 inches of rain in northwest North Carolina yesterday afternoon. And I say this because as a forecaster, you look for any kind of, was that a random thing, or was this the model trying to tell you something? And it's back over Callens and Gretna. You've got this huge 1 foot rain total here coming in. Not saying that's going to happen, but those are 3 model runs in a row off the very accurate Euro model. So it's picking up on something, right? And then this is the run before that. Very similar here, 8 to 12 inches of rain. Roanoke to 460 to Lynchburg. Let's go back another model run. I'm now 5 models in a row. 5 models in a row, and it's got the 12.2 inches over the Roanoke Valley. Now let's hope that doesn't happen. But this was the model run from the other day. All right. This is the most recent. It's going to take a second to load. That certainly was the most ominous. The most recent is right there in that same ballpark. Euro has not backed down on showing a 5-inch plus to 10-inch plus rainfall occurring somewhere up the spine of the foothills. And I was trying to think earlier, what in the world is it seeing there? And I finally figured it out. I'm going to go to my Patreon page to show you. This is a locked post that I put out just a while back, but I'm going to give you a quick preview here. If you look down to the 850 millibar level, which is 5,000 feet, right there, this is the forecast for Saturday night around 8 p.m. There is, at the 5,000 foot level, that's about 850 millibars, there is the low that sits over Bristol in the northwest North Carolina. And ahead of that, you have some 20 to 30 knot winds out of the south-southeast coming in right up against the spine of the Blue Ridge. It's that area that maxes out with the most rainfall. So I believe the modeling is showing you, and that is, let's see, that's the Euro high res as well. Off the Pivotal weather site, that's showing that bullseye. And the reason for the bullseye is that mid-level low that'll be coming in from this guy tomorrow, from this. All right, so there's really 2 areas of rain. There's the initial area that's developing over the area right now. There you see it out of North Carolina. Let me put that back in motion. Go ahead and let that load up. So there's this area of rain coming out of northwest North Carolina. It's meeting up underneath it with winds out of the northeast, while the upper level system's coming in out of the southwest. Both winds are very light. So the net movement, if you've got something going this way and something going this way, and there's not really a lot of movement either way, is not going to allow for any big fast-moving systems, areas of rain within this system that we're looking at. So the storms that are developing are likely going to train over the same areas, and they will likely sit and dump a lot of that rainfall over the same area. I was in one of these gully washes earlier today on my lunch break, which for me is late in the morning. Right as I left work here, it was pouring down, and by the time I got to Rocky Mount, I'm looking at my rain gauge now, we had 0.40, just under half of an inch of rain. That doesn't sound like a lot. That fell on about 10 to 15 minutes. And you could hear it on the roof. If you've been under one of these showers or storms the past 2 or 3 days, you know this rainfall means business. And the concern I have is that it's not just going to be 1 or 2 little places now. We're going to start to see whole counties get on some of this heavier rainfall. Maybe not quite that heavy, but as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours, the likelihood of you seeing flooding within 20 miles of where you live is going to go way up. And in fact, the Storm Prediction Center, not the Storm Prediction Center, the Weather Prediction Center here has their excessive rainfall forecast up from today. And this is it for tomorrow. All right, so we were in the slight risk today. Tomorrow it goes up to a moderate risk, may even go up to a high risk, and that's over 50% chance of exceeding flash flood guidance within of 20 miles, 25 miles of a point. But this includes most of the area, that moderate risk there. And the slight risk is nothing to sneeze at either. So this situation, it's going to take cooperation from you to stay safe. You're going to want to, as early as tonight, know what to do in the morning if there are flash flood warnings or even flood advisories issued. Have multiple ways to get warnings. Do you have a NOAA weather radio? Do you have a radio station that always alerts you when there's bad weather? Can you see the crawls on the Weather Channel or on a TV screen? Are you subscribe to my Twitter feed or my Facebook feed to where the alerts come through there? Just have multiple ways to get warnings, because there will likely be several flood advisories. I think what I could see happening is flood advisories coming out through morning, and then by late morning I could see flash flood and flood warnings coming out. I think this is going to be low-lying areas initially, but some flash flooding earlier tonight in North Carolina has me a little concerned that, if this rain gets back into Virginia by morning, we could be seeing serious flash flooding by morning. I don't want to let it, get in our heads that traditionally the worst of the system is always right before the end, because rain is a building up effect. Flooding is a buildup, right? River flooding is, yeah. But the flash flooding is already occurring. The ground's already prime, meaning that it's pretty saturated out there. The air is extremely humid. Dew point of 70 outside. Some of these dew points have been in the lower 70s today. 73 dew point in Martinsville. That's a lot, and that extends up into the air. That's a lot of moisture in the air. And with this front coming down from the north and the low coming down from the south and west, the convergence area is right over us. And there will be embedded storms, but most areas too are going to just see a lot of rainfall. So never drive across the low spots. That's what you want to keep in mind. And this is first going to be into Southside within the hour or two. By midnight or so, Martinsville and Danville is going to be getting rain. And then you see here North Wilkesboro. Notice the motion here, Hickory to Statesville. Yeah, there's some motion there, but there's not a lot. There's not a lot of motion to this. One of those things where you've got the front up to the north undercutting the moisture. So the moisture may actually develop and back build, meaning that the cells look like they're moving northeast, but if you look at where the moisture is starting, it may be starting here and then starting here and then starting here and then starts. That's when you start to get training over the same areas. So it's going to be a long night for a select few folks, whoever gets under some of these heavier bands of rain. I can't pinpoint that out with any certainty, but I can tell you the entire area should be on the watchful eye of flash flooding, and some serious flash flooding at that, as we go through the night tonight, and then again for tomorrow, and then again for tomorrow night, with the main part of the system coming through as a mid-level low for tomorrow night. All right, we'll see if that Euro model is not correct in forecasting those 6-inch plus amounts near somewhere around the Roanoke Valley area for tomorrow evening. I hope it backs off a little bit, but I can see where it's getting its reasoning. And if you want to look at that image a little bit more, go to patreon.com/Jamie Singleton. Just go to Patreon and search for Jamie Singleton. Look how long today's entry is. So I've got all kinds of things up here for you to see and why it's of such concern to me. All right, so I'm going to take a break for right now, but I will continue to let you know what's going on and more updates and more radar pictures and all that stuff here as we go through the night tonight. Stay weather aware.